Hello there, all my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. And welcome to my channel. This is going to be plate number 3 in my reverse decoupage plate series. I'm using a beautiful rice paper with an Easter fairy, a little yellow chick, and an Easter egg. And this plate will be all decked out in silver. So if you're ready, let's make a mess. The first thing I'm going to do is wipe the back side of this plate with an alcohol wipe to remove any dirt, grime, or fingerprints. You need a nice clean surface to work with. If you don't wish to see the captions, you have the ability to turn them off. Tap your screen, go into the settings icon in the top right corner, click on captions, then turn off captions. I'm going to brush on Polyvine's multi-surface lacquer. This is a great primer for any shiny surface, such as glass or ceramic. I'm using the dead flat finish because I want to remove the shine. This will give paint or decoupage glue a great surface to adhere to. Paint won't chip, scratch, or peel. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from DecoupageNapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. The clear glass plate came from the dollar store. I have the plate elevated on a paint jar so the edges aren't touching anything. I'm brushing from the center of the plate to the edge, but not going over the edge. The front of the plate needs to remain just the clear glass. If any goes over to the front, I'll wipe it off. I'll let this dry for 2 hours before moving on. I'm sponging some silver paint around the edge of the dome on the plate, leaving the center of the plate and the edges clear. I'm using a sponge so I don't get any sharp lines. I want the paint to blur into the picture I'm going to decoupage on there. I'm using Pentart silver paint, which is highly pigmented, so you rarely ever need a second coat. This is better than most metallic paints. And I have to say, these paints are really nice. They go on so smooth and creamy, and they have great coverage. These are the cutest mini rice papers. They come in a package of 6, and it was really hard to choose which one to use. They all have fairies and Easter eggs, but in the end, the one with the little yellow chick won. I'm using a water brush to shape the rice paper in a circle. I made it roughly the size of the inner circle of the plate. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below, in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. When decoupaging, you always want to tear rice paper and not cut it. A torn edge is much easier to blend. DecoupageNapkins.com has such a great selection of rice papers as well as napkins that you can purchase one at a time. Rub-on transfers, molds, modeling clay, stencils, stamps, scrapbook paper, and much more. Over 7,000 products. They carry 3 lines of paint: Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint, clay mud paint, and Pentart paints, and a wide range of colors. They are wonderful to work with and send out their orders fast. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out on orders over $50, $75, and $125. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address, and you'll receive 10% off your next order. Make sure you check them out. I'll leave you some links in my description box below. I'm brushing on Polyvine multi-surface lacquer and using it for my decoupage glue. I'll add my rice paper and then brush more of the lacquer over the rice paper, brushing from the center outward to remove any air bubbles. I'm completely saturating the rice paper, paying special attention to the edges. Notice that the rice paper is a little bit smaller than the inner circle of the plate. but the sponged silver paint hides the edge and makes up the shortage. This will need to dry for about an hour. I'm going to give this a vintage feel by adding a crackle finish to the outside rim of the plate. I'm using Pentart's Fine Line Crackle Varnish. It's a two-part system and I'm brushing on component number 1. I'll let that dry for about an hour or so until it's clear. All the products and tools I use and recommend in my videos have been tested by me. I won't suggest something that I haven't used myself. Each product will be listed in my description box below, and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. Once dry, I'll brush on component number 2. This step is an amber color. Use thin, even strokes. If you get a buildup or drips anywhere, it'll show when dry. I'll let this dry for a couple of hours. Once dry, you'll see the cracks. After using Fine Line Crackle Varnish, you cannot use any water-based products. It will ruin your crackle finish. You can only use solvent-based antiques and sealers. You can use a heat gun or blow dryer for just a couple of minutes and it will give you more cracks and deepen them a little bit. I'm going to highlight the cracks by using Pentart Antique Paste in Silver. I'm rubbing it on and then wiping off the excess with a dry, soft cloth. Make sure you don't use a wet wipe of any kind. Anything water-based will ruin the crackle finish. Now you can see all those beautiful cracks. I'm using Pentart Clear Varnish in a matte finish. It's solvent-based, so it's safe to use over the Fine Line Crackle finish. This will need to dry for a couple of hours. I'm using the matte finish because I'm going to paint over this and I don't want the paint to bead up. The best way to clean your brush after using the Pentart varnishes is with good old-fashioned turpentine. I tried other solvent cleaners like paint thinner and mineral spirits, but the only one that cleans your brush well is the turpentine. I put a little in a glass jar and soak my brush overnight, then wash with soap and water the next day. Now I'm going to coat the entire back of the plate with Dixie Belle white chalk paint. This is really nice chalk paint. It goes on really smooth and creamy and has great coverage. I'll give it 2 coats and let it dry for about an hour. With any other decoupage project, you would paint white first, decoupage the picture, then do the crackle finish. But we're doing everything in reverse today. What would go on first will go on last. When you plan a reverse decoupage project, you have to stop and think how to layer it so you get the correct final result. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. It's fun to see what cities and countries you are all watching from. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. I'm giving the entire back of the plate a coat of Polyvine Size, which is an adhesive for using any type of metal leaf or gilding flakes. It will dry clear and very sticky. It takes about 20 minutes to dry and then the fun will begin. I'm using sheets of silver leafing. You can use the sheets or you can use metal flakes. Either one will give you an outstanding metal effect. The flakes come in so many different colors and are just gorgeous. I'll leave you links for all of it. I'm laying the sheet of silver on the plate and brushing it down with a soft brush. I'll just keep adding it until the entire plate is covered. It won't matter if they overlap, the excess will just brush right off. As I go, I'm brushing all the edges to get off all the excess leafing. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. I'm going to be doing a series of reverse decoupage plates. Each video will be something different with different techniques to try. I haven't even decided how many I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to keep doing them until I run out of ideas. So help me out. If you have an idea for a plate, let me know in the comments. You'll want to subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos. They're going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to clean up any of the silver leaf on the top of the plate with a soft cloth. I'm also using some sandpaper to remove any paint or glue from the very edges. I want the edges nice and smooth because I'm going to put some silver paint along the very edge. I'm using my finger instead of a paintbrush because I feel like I have better control. Any paint that gets on top of the plate, I'm wiping off right away. And let me tell you, this is a messy job. I am covered in silver paint right now. But the silver edge gives it such a high-end look. And now I'm giving the whole thing a coat of Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish. Polyvine makes several different formulas, and this one is heavily resistant to moisture and heat, which makes it perfect for projects that will be exposed to water and heat. All Polyvine varnishes are UV resistant, so you can put your creations in sunlight without fear of fading. I'm using a special paintbrush that is made by Polyvine specifically for their varnishes. It's wonderful and spreads the varnish out nicely, eliminating brush marks. I'm going to give the back of this plate 3 coats of the heavy-duty wood varnish, waiting the recommended time of 2 hours between each coat. I'm making sure to get the silver edge that I painted along the rim. Any varnish that gets on the top of the plate, I'm making sure to wipe it off right away. You will need to wait 48 to 72 hours cure time before you can use your gorgeous plate. This plate is now highly water resistant, but don't put it in a dishwasher or submerge it in water. This will be hand wash only. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I put together a playlist of some other tutorials you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner so you don't miss any future videos.